Meghan Markle, we have to talk about this interview with Harper's Bazaar. I cannot believe it. So she's stunned fans revealing a new Harper's Bazaar interview after a surprising behind-the-scenes detail about her conduct sent the internet into overdrive. So she appeared on the cover of Harper's Bazaar's December 2025/January 2026 art issue. She talked about how brave it was of her to sell jam. She dropped the fact, countless times that she was a founder. And it was revealed in this interview that even if there were only two people in the room, that Meghan Markle needed to be formally announced, formally welcomed. I mean, that's extraordinary.
It is extraordinary. And to me, it speaks to the contradiction in Meghan's brand, which is she likes to style herself as the anti-royal rebel. She didn't want to do any royal duties, but she still wants the title. She still wants to be feted as a member of the royal family, which technically she's not, although she's married, of course, to Harry. She wants the privilege without the workload. So, and I thought this piece was excellent because the writer herself, who was very diplomatic in the circumstances, it became satire unintentionally, just by the way she described the interview. I think it was done in two parts for the feature, and no doubt that Meghan thought this would be a very loved up piece about her philanthropy and, being a working mum and giving everyone else advice on how to do that and running a global business, selling jam, etc., as you say. And the writer didn't need to mock her because there were the two incidents in the brownstone in New York where, Meghan, Duchess of Sussex, is here, and then also elsewhere when she was going to talk to some school children in Los Angeles, some teenage girls about STEM, which is a great topic, and a golf cart swept into, and there's great detail about the crunch on the gravel and stuff. And again, some poor sap had to say, Meghan, the Duchess of Sussex, is here.
It's just a disaster. It is a PR disaster. But it says so much about her.
Yeah, it says so much about her ambitions and her self-perception. It's bizarre. Harper's Bazaar.
It certainly is. I mean, some of the claims that she made, how brave she was being, selling jams, being a working mum. It's painful to read.
It's painful.
Now, royal author Robert Jobson has revealed new details on why King Charles might have kept that meeting with Prince Harry quite brief after announcing his cancer diagnosis. He claims that the palace actually made up a medical procedure to wind up King Charles's meeting with Prince Harry after the cancer news. He wrote, he didn't actually have to have a procedure. He had to go on a helicopter to Sandringham, but it meant that the meeting had to be cut down. Is that right? Yeah,
that's Jobbo's information, and Jobbo's very well sourced on these, of course, and he's put this in his new book, The Windsor Legacy. I do feel there's no malice here on Charles's part. I feel that when Harry sort of rapidly flew back to London upon hearing his father's cancer diagnosis in February last year, so 2024, he kind of invited himself. It wasn't scheduled, he wasn't summoned over. Charles had already spoken to him on the phone and said that he had cancer. So I think that given Charles was newly being treated, chemotherapy or radiotherapy or whatever he was having, he was exhausted. It was also at the height of the Netflix saga, not long after Spare was released, so everyone was on high alert for any snippet of information, worried that it was going to end up in Spare 2.0.
Yeah.
So the royal household would have been worried about this, but Charles himself would have been exhausted and probably more concerned about his health, of course. And so, the meeting was cut short with a procedure, which meant jumping on a chopper and sort of escaping to Sandringham. But of course, later in September, they had a longer meeting. I think it was about an hour, which I think did sort of pave the way to patching things up for them. But I see this more as Charles trying to spare Harry's feelings, really, in a way.
Okay. Louise, Robert, thank you so much for joining us.
Good to see you.
Great to talk to you.